to go on a medical mission to Haiti, to our Baptist brothers and sisters in Haiti. And now I have the opportunity to present the report. I'm so nervous, but bear with me. Paul, I'm ready to go. On a calm morning, July 12, 2016, a group of 7 Baptist missionaries set out from the Norman International to the Republic of Haiti. Our group consisted of several first-time and repeat missionaries. Among them were Dr. Leroy Campbell of the Mandeville Baptist Church, and he was our head of mission. We had Dr. Linton Francis from the Old-Grace Baptist Church, who had gone ahead of us. Both of them had. Reverend Dr. Duncan from the Moran Bay Baptist Circuit. Reverend Gareth Irving from the Blackellar Circuit. Sister Joy Lawrence from Bolivar Baptist. Sister Gloria Facey from Wheelersmount Baptist. And Sister Bernetta Gale from the Old-Grace Baptist Church. We had Sister Hazel from the Ebony Vale Baptist, and I represented Barbican Baptist. We were unsure of what lay ahead, but we were sure that God had called us to go, and so we were prepared to go. We boarded a small aircraft from Kingston. It may have been disconcerting to some, especially if you were claustrophobic, but God's grace was sufficient, and it saw us through from Jamaica to Providenciales in Turks and Caicos. From there, we connected to Port-au-Prince, Haiti. The flight was quite an adventure with delays and turbulence and the like, but thank God we made it safely and we landed in Port-au-Prince. Bienvenue was the Creole that greeted us, or bienvenue from the French side of Haiti. We were welcomed into Haiti by Reverend Dr. Campbell and our able driver, Felix. Our ride to the 7-star hotel was through peak hour traffic, gridlock, because Haiti's traffic intersections, very few of them are controlled by traffic lights. There were beggars, there was a myriad of tap-tap, the local taxis, which were very colorfully decorated, very much like Jamaican peak hour traffic all over again. Of course, you had the motorcycles bobbing in and out. Having settled in our hotel, we dispensed of the housekeeping issues and appointed Sister Joy Lawrence as our spiritual director. Our plans to visit the Port-au-Prince Church at their nightly crusade was washed out by a major thunderstorm. I've heard lightning like that until recently. Lightning and thunder and lots of water. But we were able to start afresh in the morning with our devotions. And our theme for the first full day in Haiti was Be Strong in the Lord. And we're saying, well, be strong in the Lord. But Lord, we just got here. But little did we know of what lay ahead for us. And God was just preparing us and preparing the way. We headed out after a very delicious breakfast. We got fruits, bacons, eggs, toast, and porridge. The Haitian food was delicious. Breakfast was the same every morning. So you decide this morning it's bacon and small eggs, etc., etc. But the dinners varied quite a bit. But everything was fried. So there was fried chicken, fried fish, fried pork, fried mutton. Yes, fried mutton. And every meal was graced with fried green pressed plantains, very much like what we do here in Jamaica. That's a fried mutton, yeah. We were privileged also to taste of the Haitian national dish, which is called soup jumu. It's a vegetable soup that is prepared every January 1, and it really was done in rebellion against the former slave masters who forbade the slaves to prepare it and to partake of it. So on Independence Day, everybody put on their pot and had soup jumu. Also, we were able to have fried sweet potato. Those potatoes were very orange. I think I've only seen those once here in Jamaica. So we moved on to our time at Nouvelle Église Baptiste, to Calvaire d'Haïti, at the Peton Place Kazoo. All of that was just one church. The church at Port-au-Prince was headed by Reverend Ronnie Bataille, and it was strongly supported by a cadre of male deacons. Haiti is a male-dominated society, And so everything in the church was run by the men. Actually, there was only one female deacon, but everything was led by the men. And this was surprising to us. The church was full of men, and most of them sat at the front, and the ladies and the babies and so on sat at the back, or mixed in. But very much unlike our churches in Jamaica, we find more women than men sometimes. Wednesday morning saw the start of VBS and our insertion into the medical clinic that was already ongoing. We supported Dr. Linton Francis and myself as pharmacist, and Sister Hazel Gale as nurse made a significant difference. And as a result, Doctor was able to see 27 patients as he saw the day before. However, he did it in half the time, because we were able to do the dispensing, nurse was able to do the triage and checking patients before they came into doctor, and so he was free to do what he had to do. We had a total of 206 patients between the major clinic at the Port-au-Prince Church, and we also ran a mini clinic at the hotel. We were able to fill, I would say, approximately 98% of the prescriptions that were seen. And this was extremely important because the Haitian public health system is really non-existent. On one of our journeys through Port-au-Prince, we saw the hospital, the general hospital, which was under construction, and trust me, nothing was happening there. In the clinic, the interpreters were very important as they helped us to communicate with the patients, and as a result, diagnosing and treating and advising our patients was much easier. The most interesting case we came across was a teenage girl who had a fractured arm. She was roughhousing with her sister, quote unquote, and she came in with her arm all swollen. We had to make a splint out of cardboard because we didn't have any wood on site. And of course, we were able to support her with prep bandages and stabilize her hand. The VBS, as I move on, VBS was very challenging. The logistics of the rooms, we were in a very small area. We shared space with the clinic, so while clinic was going on, the children were attending VBS. And the children were confined to certain areas. They couldn't go outside and play at certain times, etc., because there were other things going on. And the initial lack of support from the home church, due to members being away at work, interpreters being late, or members just not showing up, was a concern for us. We expected to be there to lend support, but found that we were running the VBS, and this was disappointing. Eventually, the support for VBS grew, and the program became quite a success, with over 100 children in attendance. God's Peace Plan. This was a theme for VBS, and the teachers had to be innovative to get the lessons across the great language barrier. We bless God for the opportunity to minister to the children and for them to minister to us, and to work as a team, coming from Jamaica, fresh, not knowing each other before, but having to gel and having to work with each other, and of course, working with our interpreters and the Haitian brethren. The closing day of VBS was a rousing success, and we were able to serve ice cream and hot dogs and sandwiches and so on, and the children enjoyed themselves. That is Sister Gail and Reverend Dr. Campbell sharing out ice cream there. In addition to VBS, there were 2 learning opportunities in the form of teacher training sessions conducted by Sister Joy Lawrence and church leadership sessions conducted by Reverend Dr. Duncan, both aimed at building the church, building the leaders and teachers, and moving the church forward, helping the church to be more relevant and beneficial to the members and the community. So in the training sessions, we had teachers and leaders from the Port-au-Prince Church, other churches in Port-au-Prince, and from the sister churches that belong to the JBU. We were also very privileged to participate in a baptism by the river with candidates prepared beforehand. Our journey to the river took us about an hour and a half outside of Port-au-Prince to a public recreational space. There were 7 candidates, 2 female and 5 male, and there was great rejoicing amongst the brethren and great interest from the community folks who all gathered around to see the baptism. The new members were sealed with a prayer, post-baptismal prayer from Reverend Dr. Leroy Campbell. So what was my motivation to go? I received the call to go on this medical mission in about February of 2016 through an appeal made on the Christ for Today program, 6 a.m. RGR every Sunday. I felt a strong urge to go and to attend to the physical and spiritual health of our Haitian brethren. I delayed calling my pastor about it until on Labor Day, May 23, I was listening to my favorite speaker, Priscilla Shire, of War Room fame, speaking at a women's conference and saying, some of you are being called to start Bible studies at home. Some of you are being called to the mission field. My ears went up. She said, don't delay. Move like Joshua. Don't procrastinate like Moses. God is waiting on you to move. And I immediately sent a message to my pastor, and he answered almost immediately. Send me the information, please. We have a council meeting coming up. He also encouraged me to speak with Deacon Curtis, who is in charge of missions and evangelism. I got her full support, and when she asked me, so, how much can you find? The Spirit said to me, 10 or half. So I said, half, very confident. And she says, okay, and she went off to her meeting. So the Lord and I had a conversation that sounded something like this. God, you're not easy, you know. God says, God, you know, so my budget don't have the half in it, you know. God says, God, you're not going to reveal how it's going to go. God says, So by the time I got home, the Lord said to me, you'll send a note to all the persons I'll tell you, and my people will be obedient. So the conversation continued. You understand me? And I said, So I composed a note as the Lord directed me and sent it out via WhatsApp. Yes, WhatsApp I use. Via WhatsApp to several persons that I felt and had the urge to send this note to. The last person that I sent the note to, I felt, should I send a note? Oh, this person kind of, if you got you sure, and God said send a note. Surprisingly, that person was the first person to respond to say, okay. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean? The Lord said, okay, means okay, the money is coming. I said, okay. And steadily, others responded to the call to support the mission to Haiti. There were members here at Barbican who secretly slipped a small envelope in my hand that added to the pool and allowed me to be able to be fully paid up by July 1, 2016. That was the deadline. I testified tonight of the goodness of God and His continued provisions for us even before we know we have a need. As I shared with a teenager who expressed an interest in being a missionary to Haiti next year, you don't have to have all the funds or even any of it up front. What you must have is faith in God. Know that if God brings you to it, He'll bring you through it. He is a great God. He's a great provider. And as we are reminded in Psalm 23, He is a great shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And so I want to take this opportunity to thank the church, the council, the brethren, my husband, my family, my friends for their support in cash and kind and prayers. We needed a lot of prayers while we were in Haiti. Every day God showed us that He was there for us. He was walking us through it. And He reminded us through our devotions every morning, through themes like, be strong in the Lord, my inadequacy, God's sufficiency. Be not weary in well-doing. Conflicts arise out of the issues of the heart, tearing down walls, Genesis 15:15-21. And He reminded us that my glory is mine alone. He would not share His glory with another. Also, we knew that the roles and responsibility of the leaders in the church was to bring about maturity of the brethren towards becoming more like Christ. And in our difficulties, we felt and we knew that God wanted us to become more like Him. I was asked recently by someone from the Baptist Reporter, what was one of the main lessons that you learned being on the mission in Haiti? And I replied, I learned from this mission to Haiti that people are people wherever you go. We all undergo similar concerns, temptations, desires, and we all need a Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ. We are all made in God's image and likeness, and every human being is worthy of salvation. And because of this, God is still calling His people to missions, whether far away in Haiti or here in Jamaica. The good news matters for each and every one of us for eternity. So what else did we do in Haiti? It wasn't all church activities. We also spent time exploring our surroundings and experiencing the culture. We explored downtown Haiti, where we went to the port, the transportation hub, traveling mostly on gravelly, marred roads with some asphalted roads. I've never seen so much stone in one place. They could export stones. I wanted to export stones. Gravel, marl stones, they had a lot of that, a lot of gravel. We explored the commercial areas. We went to the Bicentennial Tower, built in 2004 by President Aristide, to celebrate the second or the 200th anniversary of Haiti as a nation. We visited their craft markets, and we were able to purchase items. We visited upscale areas, Pétionville, the artisan village there, and we went up into the hills. One area was Kenskoff, which was a farming community. Acres and acres of vegetation just growing on the hillsides. We also went to the Baptist Haiti Mission, which is celebrating over 70 years of service to the people of Haiti. We went to L'Observatoire, which is a tourist area up in the hills. We went at night, and so we were able to see the entire Port-au-Prince lit up before us. Of course, we had to have a little ice cream, and so we went to an ice cream shop. It was a little disappointing because the ice cream was imported from the US. It was not Haitian-made ice cream. There, we discovered there were very few industries in the Port-au-Prince area. People eked out a living, whether selling on the roadside. Some persons were teachers or interpreters. Haiti has more private educational institutions than public ones. And so for the local Haitians to get an education, they have to be really, really creative and really, really want to be educated. Some persons went into the business of fixing phones, cellular phones there in Haiti. Our travel to church on a daily basis took us through the hustle and bustle, and we would pass a very populated area. We realized eventually it was an exercise park, and we saw a lot of families, children on the swings, men exercising and using weights and so on. One thing I missed about Haiti, or one thing I didn't see a lot of, was green spaces. There wasn't a lot of grass in Haiti. Sidewalks were taken over by sellers, and so persons would walk in the road. Dense mounds of garbage, piles and piles of garbage as we drove through Port-au-Prince. Every now and again you would see a garbage truck coming and picking up, but there were just so much garbage, so much plastic just strewn around the place, because Haiti, Port-au-Prince in particular, is very densely populated. We experienced modernity, because at the other two churches, life is not as glamorous as we had it in the Port-au-Prince church. It's more like the old-time Jamaica, walking to church, crossing the river and walking up with your bags. When you go there, they meet you at the river and your baggage is put on donkeys and you're walked up to the church. Cooking outdoors is not unusual, and the comrade, the brethren take very good care of you, we were told. And so, what were some of my reasons for returning home? Self-explanatory. You may forward call. Family, of course. Being away from family for 11 days was a respite. It was relaxing, but eventually your heart turns towards home. Familiar places, Barbican Baptist, you know, the brethren here, familiar people and familiar things. Flowers, the ladies getting ready for Sunday morning. And of course, a brand new member of the praise team in the person of Nicalia Brown. You know, Nicalia Brown and I had a special conversation before I left, and I said to her, Nicalia, I am begging you. I need to be here when you arrive. Can you please wait on me? Well, Nicalia set things in motion long before I boarded the plane, but I think by the time I got here, she was probably here. Beyond the mission is the call of God upon our lives to continue in missions. So what are you doing to spread the good news? It doesn't have to be fantabulous. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. You can start small, relying on the Holy Spirit to create opportunities for you to share the gospel, to build you up towards greater works. We are called to go and teach and baptize until He comes. And this is a call coming from Matthew 24. Thank you.